Hi, Sydney, and thank you for agreeing to the call and to discuss your sleep school journey with us.
Yeah, absolutely. My husband and I are so happy with our Batelle sleep school experience, so we're happy to answer your question.
Super. So you graduated from sleep school almost 6 months ago when Hayes was 1 year and a half. He's now two, almost two.
Mm-hmm.
Could you, so I know it's been a while, but do you remember, could you walk us through what was your average bedtime or night before sleep school and how was his sleep?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So sometime around kind of like the 10 months to a year range, Hayes was having bad ear infections, and we kind of fell into this co-sleeping cycle, which was fine for a little while because at least we were all sleeping. He was going to bed at a decent time, but he really didn't want to be in his crib. And so then when we tried to transition back into the crib, it just really did not go well. He had no interest in being in the crib, was really unhappy being in there. We tried to Ferber, we made it like 2 days max. I could just tell he was really stressed, and that was not going to work for us. And I didn't like it either. But I knew it was important for us to like get a better sleep situation. And I didn't really know how to do that. And then, months later, after a year, kind of like that year, 13, 14 months before I found Batelle, it had gone from, okay, we're co-sleeping, but at least we're all sleeping. This is okay, to, okay, we're trying to co-sleep and no one is sleeping. So he would really fight going to bed at night. Like he just, even if he wasn't fussy, he wanted to stay up and play. And so sometimes he wouldn't go to sleep till 9:30, 10, 10:30. And other times he would usually sleep through the night, but sometimes he'd wake up really early, like 4:30 in the morning, and not be able to go back to sleep. So I just knew he wasn't getting enough sleep. We weren't getting enough sleep. And even the sleep we were getting wasn't quality sleep. So I had some friends, not that had specifically used Batelle, but that had reached out to sleep consultants or whatever. So I just started doing some research, and I came across Batelle online, and I really liked the reviews and also just kind of like the overview of Miss Megan's methodology. It kind of like fit with how we want to parent. And then we did our 15-minute consult with you, and we just really liked everything, and we decided to go for it.
And I know it was a long time ago, but do you remember as a parent, how did you feel? What did the consultation bring you, or how did you feel after the consultation? Was it useful for you?
Oh yeah, I think the consult was useful not only because like before you pay for and decide to go through this thing, you want to kind of like see a face and talk to someone, but also just you did a great job of answering our questions. We felt like we weren't alone, like we hadn't necessarily done anything wrong, but that there was help out there for us, and that like we weren't the only ones in this situation. Because at the time, now we have friends with babies of similar age that had started to struggle with sleep. But at the time, most of our friends with kids a similar age like weren't having issues at bedtime. So we felt like a little bit alone. And so it was really good to feel like, no, there's support for you. We can help you. Like we totally understand what you're going through. So the consultation was really good for that.
Okay, well, I'm glad it helped you in not feeling alone and feeling that it's okay and it's not taboo to have a child who doesn't sleep or needs help.
Right.
Yeah. And do you remember what convinced you to join sleep school? Was there anything in particular?
I guess there wasn't anything in particular besides the points I kind of already mentioned. Like it seemed to feel like I knew we had to make a change. I liked, I guess some of the biggest things I liked about sleep school was that my husband and I have really busy, kind of crazy work schedules. So the fact that we could have like remote access to someone was really fitting for our lifestyle. And then on top of that, having like the 24-hour support during sleep school. But then even since then, like the support up until my child is 5, I've already reached out. And just knowing that we had so much support, not just in the sleep school period, but also beyond that was a big selling point for me, on top of just us liking the methodology and everything we had looked through before starting.
And so you just mentioned the methodology. I know it's kind of very vague before you join sleep school, and of course, we can't tell much about it before, but is there anything you would like to say to reassure parents that we are not a cry it out or disguised cry it out method?
Oh yeah, I think it's like for trying Ferber for the 2 days, the whole 2 days I tried Ferber and hated it. Instead of pushing your child through when they're struggling, it's the total opposite of that. So you give them the tools they need and the support for them to do some things on their own and like have the confidence to feel comfortable in their room and comfortable sleeping. But the more they cry, the more you support them. So it's like this give and take that makes so much more sense, and I think has really like fallen over into our parenting style now too, is like if he's handling things okay on his own, then let him do that and give him the space to do that. And then when he's struggling, we respond. And so I think just our we are both much more in tune with our communication with our baby instead of me and the opposite of cried out. I was jumping for every little sound he made, and rescuing him, when he didn't need to be rescued. He was just, working things out or whatever. So I definitely feel like it is the opposite of cry it out, in that it's this much more in tune responsiveness to your child and supporting them through their like bedtime and trying to go to sleep.
Okay. And it's interesting that you mentioned this, how your communication changed thanks to sleep school. So for a lot of parents, it's hard to grasp that it's not only about sleep, but it's about a relationship with your child and teaching those skills to your child. Since it's been 6 months since you graduated from sleep school, have you seen any changes in Hayes' behavior? Or so you mentioned your communication, but has there been anything else that you notice has changed thanks to sleep school and the learnings that he's had?
Oh yeah, I think it made me and my husband both more in tune, like I said. And he was always a very like confident, happy baby, even before sleep school. But then Dave and I just saw that like take off, like his communication skills, like his like actually trying to verbalize has taken off. He's more confident and like taking on new things and trying new things. I feel like we're much more in tune to like, oh, he's frustrated versus sad versus, whatever, and we're better at judging that and then better able to kind of like parent him through those types of situations. But he seems so much like happier and relaxed and more like I didn't even know he could be a happier baby until we had gone through sleep school. But he definitely seems more confident. And even when we recently traveled to see family that hasn't seen him since he was like 3 or 4 months old pre-COVID, and everyone commented on, oh, he listens so well to you guys. And now we just think it's normal. But I do think it's that way on both ends. Like he's really in tune with us because we've really worked to like focus on being better communicators with him. And so when we're like, oh, don't walk too close to that. He's not even 2, and he like comes back over. So he's a really good baby. I think he just came that way. But our communication has definitely improved on both sides. And I feel like he seems to have a better sense of like, oh, mom and dad get what I'm asking. So then he doesn't have very many tantrums, or when he does, they don't last for very long. In contrast to like some of our friends that have struggled with those issues, I feel like we really don't have to deal with that too much. And I think sleep school is, at least in part, to thank for that.
I'm happy because I know a child with tantrums, it can escalate very quickly. So we noticed this as well. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. So you said that before sleep school, you were co-sleeping. No one was getting really much sleep during the night. What's the situation now with bedtime and with your average night with Hayes?
Yeah, so now, and even like post sleep school, as we keep going through the routine, he really looks for his hatch light. When he starts to get tired, he'll go in there and see if it's green yet, or if he's tired and we turn on his green light and he can hear it in a different part of our apartment, he'll like run in there and he gets so excited. Or, and usually we do bath and then bedtime with the green light. And sometimes when he's really tired, and we turn it to red, he just like lays right down, or he smiles and lays down and puts up his toys. And we've gone through phases where at red time, it's like he's not quite ready to go to bed, or when he's learning and kind of like going through a spurt, he'll take a longer time to go to sleep. But even then, he usually doesn't sit in there and cry. Like he'll sit and, or sometimes he'll keep a bear out of his toy basket and just kind of like wind down from the day and then choose to go to sleep. It's like, I think now he knows that sleep is good for him and sleep feels good. And so more often than not, lately especially, he goes right to sleep and is excited about bedtime and going to sleep instead of fighting it like he did before.
Super, thank you. I don't have any other questions for you, actually. It's good to see this far after sleep school, how it's changing a family's life and how it's been beneficial for, not only for Hayes, but also for you. So thank you, Sydney, for sharing
Yeah,
your
absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for being patient and us getting together. I know we kept missing each other. But yeah, I was really happy to participate. So I'm glad we could make it work.